Hi, welcome to my review of Michelle Obama's wonderful book, Becoming Michelle Obama. The book released in 2018, November of 2018, and it became very popular very fast. And why are we even surprised? People love Michelle Obama, and tell you what, after reading this book, I love her even more. First of all, I have to put it out there. This is not a political book. I repeat, not a political book. And Michelle Obama writing this book had no political agenda at all. And it's very obvious. The reason why I have to make that strong point at first is because, even with friends and family members, when I recommend this book to them, immediately, if they're not a fan of the Democratic Party or of the Obama family or administration, they say no. They shy away from it, and I just don't know why, because this book is not about politics at all. Yes, there are political associations between Michelle Obama, the person, and her political party, but the book is actually just about Michelle Obama, the woman. So what am I saying? I'm saying please be open-minded before you even reject the book. And with that said, onto the review of the book. The book itself, again, is about Michelle Obama, the person, and her journey from being a kid growing up in the south of Chicago to the White House and beyond. I love the book almost as much as I love Michelle Obama, the person. And before going into the reasons why I love this book so much, I'm going to tell you a little about the book. Well, the book is partitioned into 3 sections: Becoming Me, Becoming Us, and Becoming More. So as you can see, this book is really taking us through Michelle Obama's story of how she became the person she is today and how she is still growing and becoming more. So as you can see, this book is really taking us through Michelle Obama's story of how she became the person she is today and how she is still growing and becoming more. So the first thing that I really liked about this book is Michelle's style of writing. We all know that before becoming the first lady, she's an accomplished lawyer, and she went to Harvard, for crying out loud, and she can write very sophisticatedly or very complicatedly, but she doesn't. She barely used any big words. She was so down to earth in her writing, and she kind of really wrote to tell a story, and in somewhat of a 7th or 8th grade writing level. And what that says to me is she's trying to connect with her audience. She's very down to earth, and she wants to reach out to people and inspire them and connect with them, and I so appreciate that. The second thing that I loved about this book is how candid she was in her writing, and especially in the first part when she was growing up. I mean, look, how cute is that? She even put some of her older pictures of her family, and I think she's just a very down-to-earth, real person, and she wants us to see that part of her. This lady, no matter how accomplished is, she never sounds, at least not in her book and definitely not in any of the interviews that I've seen her do, she never puts herself above other people's level, and it shows in her book. One example is this section where she talks about when she was graduating Princeton, and she didn't really quite know what to do with her career, so she studied for the LSAT, hoping to get into a good law school. And yes, she did enter Harvard and did really well and graduated with honors, but in her book, she admitted that she actually didn't get into Harvard first. She was on the waiting list. And yes, she would have done really well no matter which law school she chose. But the fact that she was able to admit her failures and be vulnerable with her audience really truly shows how genuine of a person she is. And speaking of being vulnerable, that's the third thing I just absolutely loved about this book. She makes herself so real. And in the book, multiple times, she talks about her vulnerabilities. For example, she talks about when she was having issues, having children, and then having to go through IVF alone because Barack was on the road. And also, after she conceived and had 2 beautiful children, she talked about the hardships of being a new mom and having no sanity at all. And that's something, as a mom of 2 little children myself, that's something that I can definitely identify with. And I think that I think so many women can identify with that. Honestly, we all thought we were going crazy. And just because she was a successful career woman and she's the first lady, it doesn't give her a pass for, having it easy being a mom. And by the way, isn't this cute? She put some really intimate pictures in the book, and I so appreciate her opening that sliver of window into her private life with us. Another example of her being vulnerable, career struggle, of course. After having children, moms, we all rethink our career choices. Hey, are we working a little too much? Do we even like our jobs enough to give up time with our children? So she struggled with that and she found a solution. And that's something that really speaks to people, especially women, right? Because we all struggle with the same thing, and sometimes it's just nice to connect with a public figure, a successful person who's been through that and found a solution. Areas of improvement, wow. That's a hard one, because how can you improve upon this near perfect human being, right? This book is literally the epitome of perfection when it comes to the biography genre. And I would say if I had one thing for her to improve on is when she's talking about becoming us or becoming more, and she's kind of slowly emerging into this political arena, she does kind of hold back a little bit, just a little bit. You can tell by the tone of her voice. She's not as candid anymore. She lost a little bit of that humor, even though she tries to retain it. But still, she is a representation of politics. And yeah, I would say it would be hard for her to just let it all out. But then again, how does someone like her just put it completely out there and be completely candid, right? So I think we should just let that one go. Regardless, I felt incredibly inspired after reading this book. If someone from the south side of Chicago can go all the way to the White House, who can't? What can't we do, right? And that's the biggest, at least my biggest takeaway from this book. And I would absolutely recommend it to anyone. And again, it's not a political book. It's about Michelle Obama, the person. So please give it a chance.